Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is 17th of May, and welcome to another episode of the Divorce Mindset. I'm your host, Camilla Calberg. I'm the founder of Calberg Coaching, and I'm a transformational coach, and I'm your divorce coach, helping you create a better life wherever you are on your divorce journey. And welcome if you're listening, just tuning, setting the camera. Welcome if you're following me on tuning in live from Instagram. And when I look this way, I'm tapping in and connecting with you on wherever you are, LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. And I am so happy once again to talk about mental health and why you get to care. And this is a special day for me, and I want you to join me in this celebration. And it's all about mental health. Today, my daughter Elizabeth Sophia turns 8. She knows what mental distress is. I know what mental distress is. I also know that when you work with the right people, when you have the right tools and the right strategies, you can actually heal very, very fast. Today, I'm going to talk about how I got unstuck. But first of all, I'm going to talk about the signs I saw and that challenged the signs I saw where my mental health was really at stake. I'm also going to share a bit about the signs I saw in my daughter and other people saw in our daughter, my daughter, but nobody really knew what to do. And that's why I really encourage you to care about your mental health. It is so utterly important because if you are not in have the inner balance, you don't know where you go. And you probably live your life to serve other people, but you have one life, and that life you should, and that energy, spend it on yourself, right? So it's so important to care about your mental health. And you don't, if you're not in a balance, you reach out for help because it's so important. Reach out for help. It's not a weak sign of weakness to ask for help. It's actually the opposite. All right. So when I was in this relationship, there was so many things I got used to. That was my normal. I got used to be worried. I got used to be concerned. I got used to be treated with disrespect. I got used to feeling hopeless. I got used to being with a partner who had a very hot temper, and he didn't have had his will, and was something that was really not acceptable for him. He could be angry at me or and cause very bad environment for 3 days, and then he worked on it, but still, and he could just leave, and then you would be there on either on yourself or with your kids. I don't know about you, but what I know to be true with myself is that I go in, I join a relationship to be stronger, and I want to have my rock, right? I want my rock because that otherwise I could live my life on my own. And right now I do that with my daughter, and we have an amazing life. But what I really experienced that the partner I was with wasn't my rock. But I got used to that. And because I was in a very stressful environment, the symptoms I saw was that I start to lose my hair. And here I'm gonna what's a camera? Here it's I actually is coming out now because I'm in a much better shape. But I lost hair. I could pull out literally. I could pull out my hair. Facial pain, you may know that, but there was no painkiller taking the facial pain. I suffered from facial pain. I can't count the number of sleepless nights I've had in the last couple of years, 2, 3 years before I said no more. Can't count the sleepless nights. And you know what happens when you have facial pain or when you don't sleep well? Can you perform in your executive job? You can't. If you do, you use a lot of energy, right? So it's always work and work and work, and you force your body to deliver, but actually you just really want to relax. Um, what I also experienced is that when it came to Friday, I got anxious about how the weekend would span out, us being together for 48 hours or more. How on earth would that be? I was always the one waking up early with my daughter. I was so alone in this relationship. Um, and often at towards the end of this toxic environment and being treated with disrespect, I started to suffer from migraine every Saturday morning. But guess what? I still have to be the mom taking care of our daughter because she was not there. So the environment, what didn't set me up for success. But what you know, when you are in it, you accept it because that is the new normal. Do I don't know about you, but I don't talk and ask my friends. How's your family environment at home? Really, tell me, how is it? Do you want to share? No, because you're probably ashamed. It's not something that you share in public. I didn't share that, and it took me a lot of nerve and honesty to talk about that, to share that with my coach. Um, and when I then started to realize all the signs that my body gave me that this relationship, this environment you're in right now, Camilla, doesn't serve you, then I started to be actually very scared. I started to be scared because how on earth, my body reacting now, how on earth would someone force yourself to be in that relationship that doesn't set you up for success and give you full of love and confidence? Why? I don't understand. And yet I do understand because now I'm now a certified coach, and I get to be curious about the psychological factors and the loss and being alone and all that stuff. But still, unless you work with someone and unless you have the really trusted conversations, you just accept how it is. Um, and then just welcome once again. I'm Camilla Calberg. I'm a divorce coach, and today I'm talking about how I spotted that my mental health was at stake in my relationship, and why you should care about your mental health. And if you want to go know more, go to www.calbergcoaching.com and book a discovery conversation, a divorce consultation. It is so important. And www.calbergcoaching.com. All right. So with this, just let's dive into again the mental health and the symptoms and the signs. So I was there, and so I experienced, excuse me, I experienced abuse firsthand. I experienced being in a relationship and a family environment that didn't set me up for success, but I got used to that. But just imagine, and you may be a mom or a parent as well, mom or dad, doesn't really matter. But you're the one that is the primary caretaker. If you are in a relationship or in an environment that doesn't serve you, when you listen to my story, do you say yes or no when you're listening to this? Do you thrive? Can you really give whatever it takes to perform in your mom role, dad role, or in your executive role? You can't. It's absolutely impossible. And why is it absolutely impossible? Because your mental balance is your mental health is not in balance. You are not in balance. You live to survive and just try and thrive. And if you thrive, you may just do it for kind of from a Teflon coat on, but not really. You don't really have find happiness in the inside. And so it went. So it went, and it couldn't surprise anyone that my daughter started to show signs of distress as well. Here they say what the stepping stone, the springboard is, that it takes a lot of nerve from kindergarten teachers or psychologists to actually ask the question, how are you doing at home. And I don't understand that, because probably it's why we are so sensitive in that. It is a sensitive topic. But what I know to be true is that too many women, men, and children suffer at home. But here's, you get to ask that question. We get to ask that question, and you get to open up and be vulnerable and get the help. My daughter, it took us a few years before she got help. And she got the psychologist. They didn't understand why so suddenly she was using adult language. They didn't understand why she was doing a lot of self damage or self sabotage. She was banging her head in the wall. She really suffered. Like, but here, and I had a conversation with some entrepreneurs last night, is that here children cannot express. It's so important for me, and that's why you get to care about your mental health. Children cannot express unless you are a psychologist who invite them in and to tap into their feelings. Children can't tap into how they feel. They can't express it, right? They can't verbally put words on how they feel. They just know that is chaos inside. And so my daughter reacted by banging her head in the wall, and by using heavy language or bad language. And you know what do we do? Us adults, shh, shh, be quiet. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do that. Right? But really, do we listen to our kids? No, we don't. And so I had some very important conversation with some entrepreneurs last night, and they seem to have found their new life after divorce. But they said, Camilla, our children, there was a few guys here, um, our children, they suffer. And there were some children at the early age, and some juniors and high school, and they have changed kindergarten, they changed schools, and here's like, there is a reason why your children suffer. And they said, but Camilla, how can we help? Can you help? I say, yes, I can help. I'm not a psychologist, but I do have some tools. And why do I know I can help? I help my daughter from going in, from leaving her pain, or get suffering in the mental the um, mental distress, of not feeling loved, not feeling cold love, feeling or experiencing that I was verbally abused. There's so many, the list goes on and on and on. And she got worried about her dad, she got anxious. And when I s- not finally, but when I got certified as a coach, and really devoted my time and my energy into divorce coaching and helping men and women get a better life and heal the traumas and get unstuck, I used those tools, and I still use those tools to help my daughter get unstuck. And I broke the record. And I want to share that with you. I broke the record. They told me, Camilla, it takes 10 years with what you have experienced in order for her, 10 years. So she has experienced in the toxic, the bad environment that she grew up in, it takes her 10 years to kind of reset herself and find happiness again. You know what? I broke the habit. I broke the habit. It took me 6 months. Yes, 6 months. And I did that because I knew what to do. I had the right tools. I had the strategy. And I just continued. I didn't give up. And that is the difference. Don't give up. And I asked for help. And I got different people on board. But I continued my work. I continued teaching her her destination to a happy life. And yes, and again, no, I'm not a parent who say your dad is a bad dad. I'm not that type of person. I just say, and now Anna, that sometimes he has some challenges, and that's how he is. So we get to learn how to navigate in that space, because he will never change. So we have to adapt. but we're going to adopt in our way so it serves ourselves. And that's why it's so important to work with someone who knows the tools. And again, in order for you to help your children, you get to care about yourself and you get to heal. You cannot help your children if you haven't healed. All right. It's so important. So that's why you should care about your mental health. And if you have inner balance, if you don't have inner balance, that is, if you're angry, frustrated, depressed, you have sleepless nights, you're worried, you're concerned, you linger in the past, you look backwards, but really you should create your best life. You're stuck in those emotions. Ask for help. If you want to live your best life, you want to or safeguard your career, you're amazed at what you're amazing at, and tap into your zone of genius. Ask for help while you struggle. And then you will see what happens. You will create magic. You will create an abundant life that is better and more beautiful than you had ever experienced. So let that be the end of my story today on how I got unstuck in a very bad relationship, and also how I help my daughter um, get unstuck and tap into her happiness. It's so important for me to share, because I know there are so many cases out there where couples, where we adults, we create our own frictions and we don't ask for help, and we forget that we have some very vulnerable children and they don't get help, and rather than they getting help, they experience failure in school. But it doesn't have to be like that. Let us set them up for success, and I'm here to help. So with this, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for sharing this moment with me. It means a lot to me. I'm grateful for you, and my love is and appreciation and gratitude flow to you. I'm divorce coach. I am your divorce coach, Camilla Calberg, founder of Calberg Coaching. If you want to have a chat, let's book a divorce consultation so that we can create your best life wherever you are on your divorce journey. It is not too late to ask for help, and it's not too late to create an amazing life for yourself and for your children. And remember, happiness is real. Happiness is real. You just get to work on yourself. It's personal growth. That's what it's all about. And remember, once again, to tap in and tune in daily for to the divorce live, to divorce mindset live, to listen to stories, inspiration, and practical tools to help you create a better life before, during, or after divorce, wherever you are on your journey. With this, have a beautiful Tuesday, the 17th of May. It's a national day in Norway. So you're tuning in from Norway, or you're Norwegian. Happy celebration. All right. Speak tomorrow. Bye for now.